ﷺ said she could be sought for in marriage for her wealth, for her social status, for her beauty, and for her deen. Allah Azza wa Jal ordained marriage for a great wisdom. It is He who created for you spouses from yourself, so that you would dwell unto them. So seek the woman who has deen, then you will be very successful, you'll be very happy.
نكاح مبارك زواج مبارك النكاح من سنتي.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All praise is due to Allah. This afternoon's topic, marriage, contracts and its elements. So I request Dr. Jibaly to deliver a speech.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. وبعد, possibly the reason for selecting this subject to talk about, or that it has some importance in the minds of the organizers, is the organizer of this conference, is that many of the attendees are young people who will probably be seeking to get married as soon as possible, and that marriage may bring peace into their life, which conforms with the title of the conference, or they hope it will bring peace. You never know. There's a joke that some people say, which is that a person was advising his friend. He said his friend was complaining that about marriage and some difficulties and so on. He said, you have to think about marriage as a barrel that is full of tar, but it has a layer of honey on top of it. He said, in that case, I must have opened the barrel from the bottom, because he did not see any sweetness in his marriage. So, really, I mean, a person who pursues marriage according to the correct teachings in Islam, he will find a lot of good in marriage. Allah Azza wa Jal ordained marriage for a great wisdom. He said, subhanahu wa ta'ala, خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. It is He who created for you spouses from yourselves, so that you would dwell unto them. And He instilled among you love and mercy. Love and mercy are among the most beloved or sought after thing by people. And every one of us, throughout our life, we seek to have love and mercy. We seek to love people and be loved by them. To show mercy to people, and that mercy be shown to us. So if there is a simple way like this to attain love and mercy, and to share love and mercy, which is marriage, then, of course, why shouldn't everyone rush to marry and attain this love and mercy. Indeed, the young people usually rush to this. But indeed, many of them do not find in marriage the love and mercy that they were hoping for or dreaming about before they married. Maybe the majority don't find the love and mercy that is expected to be in marriage. Why? Why is that? There may still, of course, be some level of love and mercy even among the non-Muslims and among the non-believers. They will have some love and mercy among the spouses. But what really augments or strengthens is that this marriage be pursued in accordance with the teachings of Islam. In describing the woman that one should look to marry, the Prophet ﷺ said that a woman is sought in marriage for a number of reasons. She could be sought for in marriage for her wealth, for her social status, for her beauty, and for her deen. These are the reasons that people commonly seek to marry a woman for. And of course, the more of them that are fulfilled, the better. The Prophet ﷺ said, فَابْتَغِ ذَاتَ الدِّينِ تَرِبَتْ يَدَكَ. So you should look for the one who has deen, who is good in her deen. May your hands be filled with mud or with soil. What does this mean? This is one of the expressions in Arabic which are used, I don't know, probably there are similar expressions in other languages. They used to mean something, or literally they mean something, but they are used to mean exactly the opposite. So if your hands are filled with soil or with mud, that means your hands are filled with something worthless. But this word, taribat yadak, has come to mean in Arabic exactly the opposite. Taribat yadak, your hands are filled with mud, means you are very successful. So seek the woman who has deen, who is good in her deen, then you will be very successful, you'll be very happy. So the Prophet ﷺ tells us that the main condition that we should look for in a woman is her deen. Many people, young people, fall in love with an image. They see a woman from a distance, a young girl or a young woman, and they fall in love with her just for her image, for her picture, for her appearance. So they try hard to marry her, and sometimes they may succeed. But they would discover often that this woman is not what they were expecting her to be. Her character is so bad. So very quickly, within a few days or a few weeks, they start to hate her. So the beautiful image that they liked from a distance becomes to them a very hateful image gradually. So they start hating her little by little until it becomes in their eye like the manifestation of devil. So really the image itself, the appearance itself, the beauty should never be taken as a main criterion in marriage. On the other hand, think of a person who married an average-looking woman, but she is very good, very righteous, very generous, very supportive to him. She helps him in every possible way, and she supports him and tries to guide him and be with him as much as she can. So gradually, he starts loving her more and more and more, so that her appearance becomes to him the most beautiful appearance. When he sees her, his heart immediately lightens. And this is not, of course, this is not applicable only to women. If you get to know a person, and that person, let's say he's average looking or even ugly looking, but as you start to know him, you find how good-natured he is, and how nice, how helpful, etc. He has such good character and qualities. You find yourself, in spite of yourself, loving him so much, so that when you see his face, you do not anymore see the ugliness that you saw the first time that you met him. Rather, you see a face of good nature and beauty. So this is how we are. It's true that there are some certain standards of human beauty that everybody agrees to, and others that they may argue about, but these also are subject to our impression about the person, his character, and how we deal with him or he deals with us and with other people. So the Prophet ﷺ tells us, seek the one with deen, may your hands be full of success. On the other hand, the Prophet ﷺ tells us that we should marry our daughters and the women that we are in charge of to a person who is righteous and who has good character. He alayhi salatu wasalam says, إِذَا أَتَاكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ فَزَوِّجُوا. If there comes to you a person, a man, that you are pleased or satisfied with his deen and with his character, then marry him. إِلَّا تَفْعَلُوا تَكُنْ فِتْنَةٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَفَسَادٌ عَرِيضٌ. If you do not do this, there will be a great fitna, a great turmoil on earth, and great destruction. What does it mean? It means that if you make your criteria for marriage, for establishing ties with other members of your community, other than righteousness and deen, then this will cause destruction in the society. And this is causing destruction in many societies when they do not base their marriage ties on deen and righteousness. So as you see, the Prophet ﷺ, in both cases, in the case of the man and in case of the woman, he is saying, seek a person who is of good religion, of good character. If this is done, then for sure, if the spouses are selected by both families so that they are both satisfying these criteria, this criteria which is being righteous and of good deen, then the marriage will be indeed an institution that will bring in love and mercy among its members, the husband, the wife, and the children. Otherwise, there will always be fights among them, which may lead to divorce, or else, even if they don't lead to divorce, they will lead to hatred, and the children, when they start growing, they will grow to this, to witnessing this thing, the problems and the hatred that is between their parents, and they themselves will start nurturing feelings of hatred towards each other and towards one of their parents or both of them, depending on whether they believe this was right, this was wrong, or both of them are wrong, and so on. So if we make this our criterion for finding a husband or a wife, then we come to the next step, that we want to establish the relationship according to Islam, which is through a marriage contract. The marriage contract is what makes the two individuals who were before the contract two strangers, make them a husband and a wife that want to establish a family and enjoy the feeling of love and mercy in that family. Now, the marriage contract, of course, a discussion of the marriage contract is a fiqh discussion, which means it is a discussion of legislations, of rules and regulations, and therefore it is more of the mechanics of doing things than the spirit of doing it. But at the same time, it is important because